everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video, and happy week of time. Yes, we're just 4 short days away from the release of Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time. It comes out August 31st, 8 p.m. Eastern. I know that's not ideal for everyone in the world, but it's exactly what they did for the first season, so it's par for the course. So let me know if you folks are watching on release down below in the comments, or if you're going to be waiting. I know I'll be watching as soon as things come out, and then making videos immediately for you. So you'll see videos popping up my channel starting at about 10 o'clock Eastern that night. Yeah, I'm going to be doing an episode watch, a bunch of videos, an episode watch, a bunch of videos. And they'll be spaced out over the length of a couple of days, releasing them just to give some people time to watch each individual one. Now, what are we doing in today's video? Well, we're going to talk just a bit about marketing for the Wheel of Time, things that they're doing, things that they are not doing, and opportunities missed, and there's a lot of those. We're going to talk about a new single that Lorne Balfe released that's happening in the second season of the Wheel of Time. Not quite the same as what he did for Season 1, where he released entire albums prior to, but we get a little tidbit of what's going on. I'll talk about that. And there's a drop of new castings. These all showed up in IMDB with little to no fanfare from Amazon, which I don't believe is a great idea, but they did it anyway, and it gives us some clues to what's going on in Season 2. Some of them are leaked castings, some of them we already knew about, some were official but not really official, and some are brand new, and they give us hints to what's going on in Season 2, so we're going to cover all that in today's video. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do here, well, we talk about the Wheel of Time. That's what we do. If you like that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and of course, click that like button, and you're not going to want to miss the end of the week when Season 2 comes out. There's going to be an absolute ton of content coming from What Up over the next 8 or 9 weeks, and then we're going to jump right into Season 3 leaks, and I have a lot of them for you. You're not going to want to miss any of that. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, I have to give a small spoiler warning, and this is a very slight one. So, spoiler warning, since we're talking about elements of Season 2 and castings in today's video, if you have not read the first 3 books of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, that's The Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, and The Dragon Reborn, or seen the first season of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show on Prime Video streaming right now, be forewarned, I am going to ruin very, very slight character plot points and character arcs from both of those mediums. All right, that being said, let's get on to the video. All right, so we're going to talk just a bit about marketing first. I want to preface this by saying I do not work in the marketing field. I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form. This is coming from the thoughts and opinions of someone who is on the outside looking in. So I'm seeing the marketing from 2 different perspectives. I'm seeing it from someone who is a huge Wheel of Time fan. Everything I have, my Google account, my Amazon accounts, everything points towards a ton of Wheel of Time stuff because that's pretty much all I do. I live, eat, and breathe it. So the algorithms should be pushing that stuff towards me. And I'm also looking at it from the perspective of people who don't like or even know what the Wheel of Time is, because I have a lot of people in my life who have never even heard of the Wheel of Time or who don't enjoy the books or the show at all, not even a little bit. So this is coming from both of those perspectives and our experience with what happened pre-Season 1. Season 1, the cast, the crew, the production team, they were all able to engage. There were no strikes on the go. There was nothing happening. And they pushed and were responsible for a large part of the engagement with the fandom. The social media accounts at the time didn't do a great job of it. It was a lot of everyone else doing it, and they did a fantastic job. And I also heard stories of people who worked in production that were fighting for more marketing, fighting for more placement, and doing things on their own to push the show because they felt so passionately about it. And I want to thank them for that because they did a fantastic job as far as I was concerned. But at the time for Season 1, I was intensely critical about the marketing because it seemed like there was a giant lack of it. This was supposed to be a big, huge, epic flagship property that Amazon sunk a ton of money into, and it seemed like they fell flat on the marketing. There was no merchandise. There was very few ads about it. No boxes from Amazon, and like some of the other big shows like The Boys or Rings of Power had. There was none of that stuff. But there was marketing. Now fast forward to Season 2, we're sort of in the same predicament. What's improved is that the Wheel of Time has gotten much better at engaging with the core fan base. They did a good job back then, but it was everyone doing it. It was the showrunner, Rafe Judkins. It was a lot of the cast and crew, it was everyone else. Right now, a lot of them can't do anything because of the strikes, so they cannot engage. So the Wheel of Time X account, whoever runs their social media account, I want to give them huge kudos. They deserve a pat on the back because they're doing a fantastic job of engaging with the hardcore fans. They are, in my opinion, single-handedly handling a lot of this stuff in such a way that the fans are happy, which makes me excited. They're engaging with the right people. They're talking with the right people online. They're making jokes. They're releasing, of course, official things, but they're also kind of engaging with the fandom in a way like they show that they're a fan, which makes me really happy. And that's great because cast and crew can't do that now because of the strikes. And that's sort of been an excuse, I think, a lot right now. There's the strikes going on, so they can't market. That's not true. Not true at all. There's a marketing department, there's a marketing team, and they have a bunch of paid professionals who have a ton of education, who are much smarter than me at their disposal to do this. And Amazon has put such a big investment into this. I'm shocked that they're not pushing it harder to make more money. Now, here's what we know they're doing. They are putting out trailers, of course. They are putting out little teasers here and there. That's mostly hardcore fans that are watching those. They're not being pushed other places. So every single person I've talked to that either doesn't know about the Wheel of Time or doesn't really care for the Wheel of Time has not seen a trailer yet on anything. They have not seen it on YouTube when they've watched videos. They have not seen it at Prime at the beginning of any of their shows. They have not seen ads for it in any way, shape, or form anywhere, like on Facebook or any other social media. They just don't see it, which is a departure from season 1. We did get that stuff for season 1. It doesn't seem like we're getting it near as much for season 2. Myself, everything I do is pretty much Wheel of Time related online. Everything. All of my accounts, all of my profiles, everything. The algorithm should instantly fire hose feed me everything there is to know about the Wheel of Time, and it doesn't at all. I'm getting very little. I've gotten no ads for the Wheel of Time. I've gotten very few trailers or placements at the beginnings of videos on YouTube or on other social media like Facebook or X or Instagram. I'm not getting anything suggested to me in my Amazon cart. There is still no merchandise available right now for the second season. There was none for the first season. There's still none for the second season. And we're 3 years into the show. There's no merch, or there's very little merch. There's a lot of stuff coming, and there's a lot of stuff that is not show related coming that has nothing to do with Sony or Amazon. That, let's face it, they're going to capitalize. The people who own the rights to this are going to capitalize on the popularity of the Wheel of Time to sell some Wheel of Time stuff. Of course they will, like the graphic novel that's coming out for The Great Hunt. But we're not getting anything. There's no Funko Pops. There's no clothing. We have a sword, a replica Aes Sedai rings from Bandai Jewelry and Jalek Blades, but they're out of the reach of the normal fans. Normal fans are going to buy things like books. They're going to buy things like clothing. They're going to buy things like toys. They're going to buy smaller, less expensive things like knickknacks and things like that. Like, you can't buy any of that stuff. Now, behind me on the shelf, there is a ton of Wheel of Time stuff there. Most of it's fan-made. Most of it is from Etsy. Most of it's from eBay. Most of it is from people who are just passionate about the show, and they make things and they send me stuff. And I want to thank the fans for doing that, but Sony and Amazon really aren't. There's a couple of things in the pipe, a couple of things in the works, like the tabletop game coming out next year, but it's 3 years down the road. They didn't set any of this up, which is very strange to me. So, what I'm asking of you folks, if you are an expert in marketing, if you're an expert in merchandising, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to talk to somebody about this stuff, or even have them on the channel to explain either Amazon is smart for doing this, or they've dropped the ball completely. I will be critical about their marketing, even if it's great, probably, because in my opinion, it's never enough, because I want this show to be pushed out to everyone. I think everyone should be able to enjoy this show, or have the opportunity to enjoy it, even though it exists, because I really, myself personally, enjoy it, and I know the fans love it a whole lot. So there's that. So if you're an expert in these fields, let me know in the comments down below. Reach out to me. I'd like to get an expert's opinion rather than a layperson's opinion on this, because I really have no education behind this. Now, all of that being said, in the vein of missed opportunities, they did a drop of castings recently on IMDb. This is the second drop of castings. Now, to be fair, some of these castings are very small parts or very small roles in the second season, and they probably won't matter much to most people. Some of them, though, are pretty big roles, and they never did a real casting reveal for this. This could have been articles from major publications. It could have been through content creators. They could have dropped them off to content creators and said, do this and engage the fans a bit. They could have just made a post on X about it, or other social media posts. Instead, they just quietly dropped them on IMDb and kind of left them, which boggles my mind. If they're complaining that they have no way of marketing things right now because of the strikes, how are they leaving out something as obvious as talking about the castings for the second season? I don't know. Maybe their hands are tied because of the strikes, but I really don't think so, because they can do whatever they want. It's just the actors, the writers, and people that are actually in unions that can't engage. Either way, we do have a ton of castings, and we're going to go through some of them today. Like I said, some are big, some are small, and some give us hints as to what's going on in season 2. All right, so we're talking about the castings here. Karima McAdams is a London-based actress who's been acting since 2004. You probably recognize her from Vikings or Deep State. We've talked about her here on the channel extensively before. She's been playing High Lady Suroth, one of the Shan Blood, one of the antagonists for season 2 and likely beyond. Now, what's interesting about this is there was no high profile release of this stuff. It was just kind of dumped in IMDb and left alone. But the fandom has known for a very long time who's playing Highly Isra, thanks to Geeky Area over at WatchSeries.com. She pieced that together. But this is, in my opinion, kind of a weird one because she's playing such a big role in the second season. There could have been some big fanfare about the release, but there really wasn't. So the next one we're talking about is Jessica Boone. Now, Jessica Boone is pretty iconic. She's an amazing actress. She's been acting since 1973. And if you watched anime in the 90s, you've heard her voice. She has a staggering amount of credits. I can't even count them in both voiceover, stage, movies, TV. And she is a producer and associate. I'm going to get this wrong here. She's a producer and associate artist, the Prague Shakespeare Company. And she is just absolutely amazing as far as I'm concerned. Her husband is also involved in the show, Guy Roberts. He plays Uno on the first season and the second. Now, she's going to be playing Alwyn. Now, Alwyn is Haile Serath's voice in a Sojin. So Sojin, direct translation, is about, I'd say, height among the lowness. So sort of a higher version of a Decovale, which is sort of a slave servant. So she is Haile Serath's voice. Again, missed opportunity on the fact of Amazon. They could have released this. It could have been too much fanfare because, again, a big part of season 2. She's a pretty important character for this particular storyline in the books, and there was not much about it. Now, we've known about her being involved in the show since before season 1. Because at that time, her agency sort of messed up, and I'm using quotation marks around that because I don't think it was really messed up, and released the fact that her and Guy Roberts were in the Wheel of Time, and congratulated them on it, and then the post got removed, and it was kind of kept quiet for a while, and then again recently, the fandom kind of put together that she was playing Alwyn, but we really didn't know until her agency actually came out with it, said it, and they were made to take down the posts again. So this is more of the official announcement, I guess you would say. But again, I think, in my opinion, missed opportunity in Amazon because they could have really talked about this character this season. Now, this one, another huge missed opportunity on Amazon's part. Lindsey Duncan. She's a legendary Scottish actress. She's been acting since 1975, and she's been in a ton of things. She was actually mentioned by Rosamund Pike in a recent interview as being one of those legendary actresses or actors who have a walk-on role for the second season and beyond. And this was released on IMDb as she's going to be playing an actress, which was kind of strange because it was reportedly confirmed that she was going to be playing Anavir Damadrid, which is Maureen's sister. Now again, Amazon super likes secrecy, so maybe they didn't like the idea that people knew that Maureen was going back to Cairhien to see her family, even though every single interview has basically stated that. But we're pretty sure she's still playing Maureen's sister because it was already announced. But again, legendary actress. Big missed opportunity by Amazon to capitalize on this as being part of the second season. Now, we know there's going to be more kind of surprise walk-on roles by high-level or interesting people, I guess, is the term that was used by some of the cast during the interviews. But they haven't announced any of them yet, and maybe they want them to be surprises. I'm not sure. But either way, I'm pretty excited to see her in the show. Now, Iris Pinedo, and I do apologize if I do mispronounce some of these names. I'm probably going to. I'm terrible at languages. She's an actress from the Dominican Republic. She's been acting since 1982, and she's going to be playing Mrs. Amody. Now, Mrs. Amody is, as far as I know, not a character from the book series. I've taken a look through the companion, taken a look through the books. I haven't been able to find a character with that name or close to that name, so I'm not exactly sure how she fits into the second season. But again, she is going to be playing that character, Mrs. Amody, in the second season. So, I guess I have to wait and see. Let me know your comments down below who you think this character is and how they're going to fit in. Will it be during Nynaeve's accepted test? Will it be during the time of the Foregate in Cairhien? Or will it be in Falma? I'm not really sure. All right, next we have Melissa James. She's been acting since 2013. She's probably best known for the comedy mockumentary Hard Sell. I watched a couple episodes of it. It's pretty good. If you get a chance, take a look at it. She's going to be playing Eleanor Almira. Now, in the book series, Eleanor Almira is Nynaeve's mother. She passed away when Nynaeve was very young, along with her father, and as an orphan, Nynaeve was taken and raised by the Wisdom, and that's where she basically got all of her knowledge and training and became the Wisdom herself. However, she also appeared in Nynaeve's accepted test. So the guess is, and most people's in the fandom's guess is that she will likely be appearing during Nynaeve's accepted test, probably in the present day accepted test where Nynaeve goes back to the Two Rivers, because we've seen scenes where she's in the Two Rivers. So she's probably going to see her mother, she's probably going to see her father, and her mother and father's other daughter, which we'll talk about in just a second during those scenes. That's a guess anyway. Now, that other daughter we think is this young lady here. Now, Asia Sky Fendry is playing Eleanor Jr. Now, the junior is the important bit here, because the junior means that she's the daughter of Eleanor Elmira, who appeared in the accepted test. But Nynaeve and Lan also have a daughter named Eleanor Mandragoran in the accepted test when Nynaeve goes through the third archway and is married to Lan, sort of in the future type thing. So either she's playing Nynaeve's daughter, or the junior is not a mistake, and she's going to be playing her mother and father's daughter. One or the other. Either way, we think she's going to be a big part of the accepted test for Nynaeve in season 2. And then finally, we have Jonathan Hawkins. He's been acting since 2016, and he's going to be playing Berian Almira, who is Nynaeve's father. He was a shepherd, and really wasn't mentioned a whole lot in the book series other than in Nynaeve's accepted test. So likelihood of him appearing in Nynaeve's accepted test is pretty high. So we're going to end on this. This is a post. I keep wanting to say tweet. It's a post from Lorne Balfe on X, formerly known as Twitter. And it's about the music for season 2. Now, at this point, before season 1, we knew most of the names of the tracks for the soundtrack. We were all talking about the music and stuff. That hasn't really happened yet. Rumor is we may see some of that this week, but I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But he did post this, so I've left a link to the post down below in the description box. If you folks have an X account, you'll be able to go over there and take a listen to it. It's really cool. Now, the person singing on this is Peter Cox. He was part of the iconic UK pop duo Go West, and then he went on to have a very successful solo career with 11 albums. He had 3 top 40 Billboard hits in the 90s. Really great vocals, really cool. Anyway, he does a fantastic job in this, and it's really neat to kind of hear some of the sounds that we're going to hear in season 2. So, that being said, I've left it down below if you folks want to check it out. And I want to ask you guys a question. What do you hope to see this week? We've already seen some teaser clips from some of the other cast, but we haven't seen some of the more notable cast that the fans are kind of looking forward to. We haven't seen Perrin, we haven't seen Matt. Elaine, I think there's a lot of people out there waiting for an Elaine clip. Min, we haven't seen anything with Min really yet. What are you folks looking forward to this week? That stuff? Do you want to get more clips? Do you want to get music? Do you want to get a longer trailer or a second trailer? I really don't know what they're going to do, but I think I have a sneak suspicion that the X account is going to push a ton of stuff this week prior to release, because that's what they've been doing lately. Really good job of engaging the hardcore fans. If you don't have an X account, if you don't plan on getting one, or if you did have one when it was Twitter and then left after all of the changes, because the changes have made the platform a bit of a headache for a lot of people, don't worry, I'm on there just for Wheel of Time stuff. I'll relay most of it here, especially all the bigger, interesting bits. Absolutely, you'll get to see it here on the channel. Anytime anything interesting comes out this week, you'll see a video from me, even if it's more than once a day, because we're in the final days now, and I can't wait to see season 2. So, thank you all so very much for sticking with us here to the very end. Here's to many more.